Hi, I'm Deborah Lockridge. I'm Editor-in-Chief at Heavy Duty Trucking, and I'm here in Nashville at the McLeod User Conference with Tom McLeod. He is the founder and president of McLeod Software. Tom, you've come a long way since you first started back in 1985. Tell us a little bit about that very first version 1.0 product that you came up with to help trucking companies.
Well, it was a great time to start a software company of all things. Technologies were just emerging. There was no off-the-shelf software, and we were essentially putting in computer systems at companies for the very first time. And really, and to a large extent, we were replacing typewriters. So our initial system, essentially, I say it printed a freight bill, it printed a driver paycheck. That's it. We spend time lining up the forms in the dot matrix printers. That's how we use up a lot of that training time. So technology has really come a long way. These days, there's a much higher expectation out of what systems have to do in order for these businesses to run. They're run much more efficiently than they ever could have been in the mid-'80s with the automation. But this certainly makes it harder to come out with a new product. That's helped us as we've progressed, and we're grateful to our customers for continuing to push us in the right direction to get them the tools that they need to serve the industry.
What drives your decisions? The choices you make can make a big difference for your fleet, and it all starts with what's under the hood. So when everything is riding on you to keep the wheels on the road, turn to the proven protection of CitGard heavy-duty engine oils. Learn more at citgolubes.com.
Well, as you say, technology has come such a long way. It's changing faster than ever, it seems. You got record attendance here at this user conference. Why is it so important for fleets to stay on top of this technology?
Well, their shippers continue to expect more and more. They want information to be delivered as timely as they want the freight delivered. They want visibility. They want other types of services to go along with the delivery of freight, and they'll exhibit a preference for the shippers or the third party, the freight broker or the 3PL that can deliver these additional services. Certainly it's helpful. So the technology becomes a means for attaining the freight and for retaining the customer. Important to stay up and help anticipate, because that is what enables the tapping into the opportunities that come along in the marketplace.
You mentioned automation and efficiency. Fleets are needing to be more efficient than ever, trying to do more with fewer people, trying to be more profitable. Tell us a little bit about automation and efficiency and how technology helps there.
Well, by automating the routine tasks, it's everything from automatic rating to billing for freight that's, where there are no exceptions, automating the driver settlement, getting the drivers paid without having to hire an army of back office staff to get the work done, creates a tremendous advantage for the companies because the extra margin they can use for providing services to their customers that otherwise wouldn't be there. By being able to grow revenue without having to increase headcount, this is tremendous saving and a tremendous advantage in the market, which is very competitive. Really, trucking companies, there's so many. It's always competitive, winning and keeping the customer for freight.
And it seems in recent years there's been a lot going on with pricing, and you mentioned this morning the importance of getting that price right that you're charging a customer. And technology is helping there. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, there is so much better visibility of pricing and what's happening in the marketplace today than ever before. There are, several sources for that, but one source for our customer base is our market insight database, which tells you through yesterday what the prices were for freight in a given lane for a given freight type. And I'm not sure we've ever seen the rapid fluctuations in pricing. And goodness, when you've got between 8 and 9% inflation you're looking at, and prices going up and down depending on capacity and availability. Tremendously important to keep your finger on the pulse and make sure that you don't overprice and miss out on getting freight that you really should be hauling. And also don't underprice. Don't leave money on the table when the market, when your ability to haul is worth more. You'll need that extra money in the bank for investment and for new things that your shipper is going to expect. To keep your company healthy, you've got to, set your prices appropriately.
And I understand that y'all are working on the ability to try to project pricing into the near-term future.
Well, that is an interesting problem for our data science group that they're getting very close on. As I said, we've got the pricing information all the way up through yesterday. And so, the prediction for the next few days out into the future can be dependent on, capacity availability in certain geographical areas. It can depend on, weather information. And also it depends on historical freight patterns. But the ability to anticipate that and, again, make better pricing decisions really helps to equip the trucking company to operate better than ever before.
And McLeod has a lot of data from anonymized data from all your customers that I'm sure really helps give insights into those patterns.
That's right. We're working extensively with the data from our entire customer base. We also deliver the aggregate pricing information from other sources. DAT and truckstop.com have services that help to deliver that freight. So they're good comparisons, and we're not limited to but we feel like our data is very clean because it's validated when it goes in the system. We can verify it much more readily, and so we believe it's an important source of pricing information for our customers.
It's kind of like what a few years ago the big term was big data, where you're not only analyzing your own information, that you're bringing in all this other things, other data, other statistics, weather, and all that. It seems it's at the time I remember it seemed kind of futuristic. Seems quite a reality today. So one thing you mentioned this morning, you said in a time of disruption and uncertainty, which certainly the last couple of years have been, that it's also a great time of opportunity if you're prepared. What are some things you would tell fleets about how they should be prepared to take advantage of these opportunities?
Well, certainly consistency within their operation is very important. Establish their processes and make sure their staff is performing like they should be. Make sure they've tightened up their administrative processes. Make sure they're fully utilizing the tools at hand. It can be an important step for being ready to progress into the future. Step one is to master the tools you've got available. Other important things are to maintain close communications with your customers, learn about their expectations and the things that they're anticipating. Is it going to be green initiatives for fuel efficiency? Is it going to be changes in their operation that may mean a change in their freight patterns? By staying in touch with that, you can help anticipate what's happening. And by keeping close communications with your suppliers to learn about new things that are coming down the pike, changes that may be occurring again that allow you to take advantage of opportunities, can really help you outpace a competitor and take advantage of an opportunity early in the cycle.
So in a lot of cases, getting back to that blocking and tackling. Been so many exciting things going on with technology, which can help with that as well. But it's interesting time.
Yeah. Easy to get fascinated with the next new thing, but if the foundation's not in place, you won't get as much benefit from that as you would otherwise.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your insights, Tom.
Deborah, thank you. Great to be here in Nashville, Tennessee.